Have you ever caught your reflection in a mirror and wondered, why do I always think I am ugly? Many of us have wrestled with this question at some point, and there are a few factors at play. Firstly, consider the pervasive influence of social media. As we scroll through seemingly perfect images of others, we often compare ourselves to these carefully curated personas. It's easy to forget that what we're seeing is not an accurate depiction of reality, but rather a highlight reel. This constant comparison can warp our self-perception, making us believe that we are less attractive than we truly are. Next, let's think about societal beauty standards. Across the globe, societies have different ideas of what is considered beautiful. These standards are often unattainable and set by industries that profit from our insecurities. It's important to remember that real beauty is diverse and cannot be confined to a specific standard. Yet we often fall into the trap of measuring our worth based on these narrow definitions of beauty. Finally, our brains have a knack for zeroing in on our perceived flaws. It's a survival mechanism, an echo from our ancestors who needed to be hyper-aware of their surroundings and their own physical condition. Today, this tendency can lead us to focus disproportionately on what we perceive as our imperfections, magnifying them in our minds until they become a significant part of our self-image. In essence, our perception of ugliness is an illusion, a mirage created by external influences and internal biases. It's a distorted reflection that doesn't accurately represent who we are. So, it's clear that our perception of ourselves is far from reality. But what is the science behind these distorted self-images? Ever thought about the psychological factors that shape our self-image? Let's dive deep into our minds and unravel the intricacies of self-perception. There are three key psychological phenomena that play a significant role in how we perceive ourselves: the mere exposure effect, the self-fulfilling prophecy, and confirmation bias. The mere exposure effect is a psychological concept suggesting that we develop a preference for things merely because we are familiar with them. When it comes to our appearance, we generally see ourselves in mirrors or photos which show a flipped version of our faces. This mirrored image is what we become familiar with. But when we see a non-mirrored image of ourselves, like in videos, it seems off, unfamiliar, and potentially less attractive, even though it's what others see. Next, let's talk about the self-fulfilling prophecy. This is a belief that leads to its own fulfillment. If you believe you're unattractive, you're likely to act in ways that make this belief a reality. You might avoid social situations, neglect personal grooming, or adopt a slouched posture, all of which can make you appear less attractive to others. Finally, confirmation bias. This is our tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. If you believe you're not good-looking, you're more likely to remember instances where someone didn't return a smile or seemed to ignore you, reinforcing your belief. These three phenomena combined can create a powerful and often misleading narrative about our appearance. The mere exposure effect makes us uncomfortable with how we truly look. The self-fulfilling prophecy makes us act in ways that can undermine our attractiveness. And confirmation bias ensures that we notice and remember events that support our negative self-perception. So it's not just about what's in the mirror, it's about what's in our minds, how we interpret what we see, and how our beliefs and biases shape our perception of ourselves. It seems our minds are playing tricks on us, but how do societal beauty standards fit into this picture? Ever noticed how beauty standards vary across cultures and time periods? In the Renaissance period, roundness was revered, a sign of affluence, while in today's society, slimness is often idolized. Similarly, while some cultures celebrate the uniqueness of individual features, others promote a more homogenized ideal. This disparity highlights the subjective nature of beauty. It is not a universal constant, but a construct shaped by society. And it's this societal construct that often plays a significant role in how we perceive ourselves. The media in particular can wield a powerful influence. It bombards us daily with images of ideal beauty, from billboards to social media feeds. These images are often manipulated, airbrushed to perfection, presenting a version of beauty that's virtually unattainable. This unrealistic portrayal can distort our perception of beauty, leading us to compare ourselves unfavorably with these ideals. We find ourselves striving for a standard that's not only unrealistic but also constantly shifting. One moment it's all about bold brows, and the next it's about bee-stung lips. This relentless pursuit of perfection can take a toll on our self-esteem and body image. It can make us feel inadequate, unattractive, and even ugly. We may start to believe that our worth is tied to how closely we align with these beauty standards, a belief that can be damaging and disempowering. Yet it's important to remember that these standards are not a measure of our worth. They are not a reflection of our uniqueness, our character, or our capabilities. They are simply societal constructs shaped by a variety of factors and subject to change. Moreover, beauty is more than just physical appearance. It encompasses qualities like kindness, empathy, and resilience. It's about embracing our uniqueness, our quirks, and imperfections. It's about celebrating diversity and individuality. The standards set by society can be unrealistic and damaging. So what can we do to combat these negative influences? It starts with recognizing the influence of these beauty standards, challenging them, and redefining beauty on our own terms. After all, real beauty isn't about conforming to societal norms, but about being authentically and unapologetically ourselves. So, we've identified the problem. But how can we start seeing ourselves in a more positive light? Well, the journey to positive self-perception begins with shifting focus from the external to the internal. It's about recognizing and appreciating the qualities that make you unique, rather than comparing yourself to others. Limiting your use of social media can be a good starting point. It's easy to get caught up in the perfectly curated lives of others, forgetting that these are often not an accurate representation of reality. Next, practice self-love. Speak kindly to yourself, nurture your body, and engage in activities that bring you joy. You are deserving of love and acceptance, just as you are. Sometimes it may be beneficial to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors can provide tools and strategies to help you navigate feelings of inadequacy and cultivate a more positive self-image. Remember, beauty is subjective and it's what's inside that truly counts. Start loving yourself today because you are more beautiful than you think.